which is why I be stalling, which is why I be stalling. Oh, Starfleet Academy's calling. Hold up, who that? Oh, it's me. Oh, Star Trek, true that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, what's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. It is your favorite blurred click, ready to talk blurred shit. And today we are welcoming all Star Trek and Starfleet Academy fans to discuss the finale of the first season of Starfleet Academy. Hallelujah. We made it, y'all. 10 whole episodes. 10 whole episodes of completely nuanced Trek, and we're going to discuss, dissect, recap, and review each and every last bit of this completely I would say it's a pretty, I'd say it's pretty complete. I'd say perhaps is the word I'd say. It comes full circle. You start off and you end where it started. So let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. I've got the homie Anna. Anna's in the building. Finally. Just playing. I got Silent in the building as well. What's happening, Silent? Yes. And yeah, your boy the real Vince Taylor looking like E.T. today. Yeah, I've heard it before. Somebody, my old boy roasted me, say, yeah, why you dressed like E.T.? It's all good, though. We ain't going to talk about it. But today, like I said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the very last episode of our show, Starfleet Academy. And as you know, we got to do our ratings, thumbs ups, thumbs downs, the meh in the middle, or whatever it is. So let's go ahead and give our rating on this last episode. I'm going to take this down in 3, 2, 1, and you will let us know with the thumbs up, thumbs down, or a meh, how you felt. So thumbs up, thumbs down in 3, 2, and 1. Hey, is that 2 thumbs up? Oh, wow. Okay, we got 2 thumbs up. All right, well, let's start with the uber positive then. Anna. That's 2 thumbs up for, is that a thumb for each time you watch the episode?
I did watch it twice. You know what? It was not what I expected, but what I actually got out of this episode, especially on the second watch, I really appreciated a lot of the character moments, and like you were saying earlier, how everything came full circle for everyone. And I think with it not being so bombastic and focused on action, it was interesting to use a court case kind of tropey thing to give this series finale, like to take, because we've seen the trope of court cases in Star Trek before, so to use it as a framework for a finale was very interesting to me. I liked it. The more I watched it, I was like, you know what, this works really well. It also had very strong messaging about our political climate. I'm sure y'all noticed that.
No, do tell.
Well, our lovely villain, News Braca, is a very strong stand-in for you know who.
Yeah. Don't say the name. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yes, especially when Nala talks about how, is this who you want to follow? A child with his hand on the trigger. I was like, girl, you're saying it loud and clear. So the messaging and the things, the takeaways from this episode are what made me feel like this was a very effective episode for a finale. It actually subverted a lot of my expectations. Discovery did not show up until the very end. I don't know if y'all noticed it. It was in the window at the very end, off to the side. So at the very end where they're all at the very end where they're looking in, they're like, that big window. They're looking out. Discovery is like there. And the camera kind of
okay, all right. Okay, let me challenge you for a second, Anna. And I hate to challenge you because I'm hope we friends, even though
yes.
we know each other a couple weeks. I consider you a real good friend. And are we sure that it was Discovery and it wasn't just another ship that looked like Discovery? Because you know how that there's multiple ships that be looking alike. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason why I say it's Discovery is because Discovery's design and look was unique. There wasn't a
Yeah, that's
ship.
true.
There wasn't a ship that was built in the 32nd century that looked like Discovery. Discovery came from the past. They updated it, but that
Mm.
was the only ship that had that design, that make and model. So I'm gonna go with it was Discovery. That's my head canon.
Okay.
But I'm sure in the coming days, as this, you know, Paramount Star Trek starts releasing more content about it, we'll probably, hear something one way or the other. But yes, it definitely subverted my expectations. Um, I was thinking it was going to show up, but it didn't. But I'm also glad that it didn't in the long run because it allowed this show to stand on its own. It allowed this crew to stand
Mm.
on their own and figure out the situation in their own way. So I'm gonna kick it out to y'all and see where y'all land.
Well, let me welcome my boy Ty in. What's going on, Bad Ty?
What
Ty's
up,
in
what
the
up, what up,
building.
what up?
Appreciate you making some time, man. I know I sent the link out a little late today, so my apologies,
Nah,
man.
it's all good.
My day's been a little crazy. But we didn't get your rating, so I'm gonna put you on blast right now, homeboy, since you coming up in here right here. I need you to give us your thumbs up, your thumbs down. I need you to let me know what you're feeling about this. So go ahead and tell us how you feel in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, two thumbs
Oh,
I need
well, this
hella
is
down. Here
gonna
we
be
dive.
go.
this is
Hella
gonna be
dive.
Here
interesting. We're gonna be fighting
I
for our
need
lives.
Okay, no. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know my boy Ty always keep it 100, so I'm glad he keeping it 100 and don't be swayed by nobody. Before we get to his factual feelings, let me go ahead and flex it over to Zyla because I know Zyla had some feelings, some thoughts, and I would love to hear how you feel about it. And do not let anybody else's opinion deter you, as I don't even tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
of
tell us how you
course.
feel,
I
Ty.
can't. I can't pretend like I don't love it. Like I really loved it. I always do, but I think one of my favorite parts about it was I love Star Trek plot lines where the Federation comes into question. Like, are they good? Like, you
Mm,
really have to
I
dig
like
into not just blanket, like, we're always the good guys. We are sometimes the bad guys, and there's like a lot of nuance to that. And I loved it when
that.
DS9 did it with the Maquis. And
Yes.
every time a captain is flexing if they're gonna break the prime directive or something, I love those plot lines, and I feel like the trial of episode 10 definitely did that in a real way. And I like that they didn't make. I was afraid Anisha Mir was gonna be a bad guy, and I felt like that would have been just such an injustice to people who are, Star Trek is a reflection of real life. So to people who are struggling to do the right thing under desperate, dire, difficult circumstances. So I was just glad that they didn't take it in the direction that I thought they might. And then, of course, I love
Mm,
my full circle moments. I loved Caleb and Jaden having their like never let a friend, the Klingon never let a
yeah,
friend
yeah,
struggle
yeah.
alone. I liked the Sam and Genesis having it out, like hashing it out, growing
Yes.
together. And I like that we got the reunite with his mom. Like he deserved that. And so I was into it. I was into it.
Okay, okay. All right. Let's take a turn for the opposing view. My man Ty, keep it 100. Tell us what you thought, man, and tell us why two, not one, but two thumbs were down on this finale.
Well, I mean, let's start there. The word finale. I mean, it anytime I hear the word finale, I feel like it's supposed to, come. Everything's supposed to come to a head. Um,
Mm,
there was a lot of stuff that was kind of illuminated throughout this the season, but when it came time to maybe, let's address it, there was no addressing it. The Genesis at who's at her dad situation, or is was never addressed.
true.
Yet it was illuminated at least a few times this season.
Yes.
The last episode, um, the captain was like, "Oh, your dad's gonna be furious with once he finds out that, you know what I'm saying." Like, there's this continual suggestion that whoever Genesis's father is, that this admiral, it's somebody, and I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity for us possibly to get it. Watching the whole whole season finale, everybody's life was in danger. Everybody from the Federation of over 100 ships show up, but her dad doesn't. Interesting. But okay. Yeah, so everybody gets to have that moment. Sam has the moment with her dad. Yeah, let me go hang out with my friend. Mom, I'm gonna come back next year. Genesis is just hanging out, and her dad doesn't pull up. Come on, get out of here with that. More importantly, when have you seen an explosion on the deck of a Starfleet ship where the windows blow out and nobody gets sucked into space? What in the fuck you do? Are we here, man?
Right. Well,
no.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Whoa. Photon, they're like, this was the thing, right? I wouldn't have known how it exploded other than I saw you taking phasers from at least 4 or 5 ships. But then she says, "Oh, you hit us with photon torpedoes and you blew up." Like literally, we're sitting there watching the whole crew sitting on the deck. The explosion hits. There's glass flying everywhere, but there's no, and we're in space, people. We're in space. So if glass is flying everywhere, somebody else should be flying everywhere too. This was an opportunity for us for you to convince us as viewers that next season is going to be much better than that's always what a finale is for. A finale is supposed to bring me into, oh my God, I can't wait till next season. I was not feeling that at all in this episode. Another thing that I really felt like was not addressed properly was the interactions between Caleb Mears' mom and the captain. There was a moment where there should have been a trial by combat. God damn it! You hate her. How much you hate her? Here's a knife. Show me how much you hate her. Like even in that moment, let's have an old school. Yeah, even if you don't kill anybody, let me just cut her. Let me cut her for she gotta get cut. I've been away from my son. I've been away from my son most of my life. Most of my life, we cannot come in here and I don't cut you, bitch. I've been thinking about 16, 20 years about what I'm gonna do when I finally see you, and I don't do that shit. Man, stop it. Star Trek had an opportunity to really wow us in this finale, and all I saw was a dumbed down version of what I saw in Discovery. I mean, not Discovery, Strange New Worlds, which was another trial, another incident of let's use the judiciary system to figure out how we're gonna solve this. It's easy to solve it. She don't like her. He don't like her. She don't really care for her. Let's fight it. Whoever wins, that's how it goes. I'll push the button or I don't push the button. But it's on y'all. So, again, this did not feel like a finale. It felt like an episode 6 or episode 7, but it definitely didn't feel like a finale. You got Braca, who is if I'm being honest, one of the scariest of villains in Star Trek history. Why? Because he's willing to kill everybody. He don't give a fuck. He was willing to blow up everything. Like when it was all said and done, he was like, it don't matter about this trial. I got the button. So if it don't go the way that I feel like it should go, everybody got to go. And I'm all for that type of villainy. I'm all for it. But there was no loss in this episode. Not one. This, it feels like episode, what was that, 4 or 5 when we lost the Vulcan. And then that felt more an old girl finally powered up and used the Phoenix Force. That felt more like that felt more like a season finale than this did. And I just hope that this doesn't deter some people who have already been on this rocky road with Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, because there have been some filler episodes that we were like, there's been some really good episodes, but they all contain my girl Sam. You know what I'm saying? So there is, it's literally one of those things where I came out of this full season like, I love Sam.
Okay.
That's about as much as I can. Everybody else's characters. As much as I want to say that I really love what's Mir's first name?
Caleb.
I really love Caleb. I can't say that because I really don't really care about his storyline. I really don't. It just does. It didn't give me enough. And then he cemented my feelings about him when he tried to yell at my girl last episode. You know how I feel about that. And I wasn't here last week to defend her honor, but I know how I feel. And when you was about to yell at, when you was like, "Hey, you," and I was like, "What, nigga? Go ahead and say it, nigga," so I could jump through this screen and give you everything you was asking for. That's how I felt. But what Sam does, which is make you love her more. Like you cannot not love Sam. Like Sam makes everybody on the show look better. And the end of the, you know what? One of the best parts of this season finale was seeing Sam jump onto Tig's lap, to Tig Notaro's lap. Who I always forget her. Yeah, to jump in her lap and just see her just smile and laugh and like she has it all season long. Like that is the effect that Sam has on people. She brings out the best in every single character on this show. And if there's anything that I would say to anybody who's like on the fence about this show, it is latch on to Sam, use that love to carry you through to the next season. Because unfortunately, this was for me, they dropped the ball on this season finale, writers. I love y'all in a lot of the series shows this year, but this wasn't it.
Oh wow! Tell us how you really feel.
Right.
All right.
I was gonna ask if we could curse on here, but now I know now.
Nah, motherfucker! This is a family show. God damn it! No, you can't curse.
He authentic self at all times.
Yo, by the way, Anna, meet my best friend Ty.
Nice to meet you, Ty. I don't even know what to say now. I'm like, well, shit.
Well, listen, he emptied the clip and he's feeling how he felt. Now, here's what I love about what Ty said. Ty's being honest. He talked about his feelings, but he's not like, it's not a hate. He's he wanted more. He wanted more.
There's a critique instead of just saying bad writing.
Yeah. It's just so I can dig it. I do wanna before I give my feelings, I do want to challenge you on one thing here, my friend. Each starship, for what I understand, is equipped with the capability of using its shields to keep the actual atmosphere outside from being, from people inside being exposed to the vast black empty void of space, the vacuum. And here's I'm a exhibit A is I think episode 1 or 2 of Discovery, where you actually had Michael Burnham standing, because she was left in the brig and the ship got blown up, the one that Georgia was on, and she was standing in the brig with an open wall, but the shield was still looking at. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trekkies. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No. Wasn't it a monitor, not a window that blew out?
It might have been. He did watch it twice. I don't know, perhaps. Yeah. But either way, I'm not trying to fact check. We can go back and watch it again. But just in case. But maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. But I do know that has happened. Even from the original series, there have been times where the ship gets hit and the hull is still protected by what they used to call the screens, but now they call the shields. So that part didn't bother me as
But you
much.
do realize that anytime that happens, it's because the shields have failed, right? And like that's not how that works. What you're talking about is the airlock, like it's almost the same thing as an airlock. What I'm talking about is when you are on the bridge, when you're seeing them sitting, when you see everybody sitting on the bridge, there is a literal explosion from the photon torpedoes that hit the thing. Because why? Because she had just said we are about to lose shields. Like that, then what happens next? Explosion. Why? Because there are no shields. So then what happens is the explosion then shoots all this glass everywhere. Everybody's on the ground, but there is still a literal explosion. There is no explosion in space without oxygen, sir. So they had to blow out the inside of the thing in order for it to explode at all. So I feel like you tried to educate me, but at the end of the day, I understand the complexities of space. Maybe not as much as you do, but I will say,
science fiction.
No.
None of it's real. None of it's real. So I'm not.
None of it's real.
I'm to educate you.
But you are educated in that aspect of space. So I won't sit there and act like I don't know what you're talking about. All I'm saying is, for me, there was opportunities to use those instances for loss. I understand you had the main characters on the bridge, but go ahead and plug in Tony over here and tell Tony to stand.
You want a red shirt?
You're gonna die in the scene. But listen, we're gonna make it epic. We're gonna have you fly out of the airlock. You're gonna be in space. You're gonna freeze. But we're gonna see your body. People are gonna feel some hurt for you, Tony. And we're gonna make it look like you tried to save everybody. You're gonna have an epic send off. Don't worry, Tony. We got you. Tony, all I'm saying is the fact that you have all of these bombs that from what I was told, each bomb has the potential to knock out 182 billion or something like that. They said people or whatever. Just one bomb exploding could take out this many people or this much space. Not one bomb went off. Not one.
All
all I'm saying, bro, is like that. Those type of when you're dealing in space, and you're dealing with the type of villainry that our boy Braca was bringing to the table. Like this nigga just took out a Starfleet base where he killed everybody over there to get the ship. So we know he has no problem with killing. But to go to the season finale and not lose one person, not one. Man.
All right. Well, listen. Well, thank you
Who
very much.
Who would have died? Who do you want to? Who would have been the sacrificial lamb?
If I'm being honest, Kyle should have died. Well, let's be honest.
Oh my God, yo, he's not even in Starfleet.
But listen, look, this is my point. Kyle, he's not like, oh my God, I was hiding, I was spying on you. He could have came and like, Jaden, I didn't trust you. I knew that Darren was trying to mess with you, and I was tired of it. I just want to know.
Kyle.
It could have been
Are you working for Darren?
Certified Kyle hater. I truly
I don't know. Yo, but somebody if it wasn't gonna be, look, this was an opportunity. This was an honest opportunity
To kill Kyle.
to kill Kyle. But more importantly, this was an opportunity for Caleb to experience real loss. So it could have been his mother, it could have been his mother, or it could have been the captain. Now we know they're not going to kill his captain, so more likely it would have been his mother. That would have made more sense. That would have been one of them things.
I'm riding with you on this.
Yeah, because I feel like. Oh, go ahead, Zala. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's get Zala.
Well, I just disagree, and the only reason I disagree is because if they had killed Anisha Mir, I would have been mad because not only does it reinforce Ake as some sort of white savior and replacement of Caleb's mom, it allows her to be it allows her to be villainized in a way that I feel like what her character represents should not be villainized. She was a mom who was trying to do the best she could to save her son, survival of the fittest, life or death. So for her, if they had killed her off, like I agree with you actually, Ty. I wish there was more action. I thought there was going to be more fighting, more explosions, more ship battling in this episode. I really did. And the fact that there wasn't, yes, that does fall a bit flat. And I love when people die. I'm not gonna lie. I would be with you. However, I really didn't want them to. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. But I would have been really upset if they killed Anisha Mir. Just thematically, what that would have what message that would have portrayed. So that's where I stand on it.
It was like, oh, she deserved to die because she was poor and made a bad decision.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually riding with Ty on this one a little bit. I don't agree with his the whole blowing up the Enterprise and all that. I'm not with that.
The Enterprise,
but I mean, excuse me, Athena, my bad. But he is onto something here with the fact that the episode was a legitimate finale. You know how most of the shows that we watch, they'll normally lead you into the next season. They give you some breadcrumbs, some sort of cookie trail for you to be like, oh, snap, what's going to happen? Like I literally, now, Anna, you watched it twice. Was there an end credit scene at the end of it? No end credit scene.
It was very generic, very open-ended. It kind of felt like they made it that way because even though they were greenlit for 2 seasons up front, it was kind of made in a way that we don't know. So I'm not sure why they wrote it that way. There should have been some more carryover, or like Ty was saying, there should have been, where were the parents? Where have been the parents?
Yeah. Where's the dad?
Darren's parents should have showed up in episode 7. Or any of them where they make sense. Genesis parents should have shown up, her father. We hear so much about these people, but we never see them. And I understand there is budget, we can't have everybody needs to be paid, but come on.
Oh my God.
But I hear y'all on the action tip. I do. I thought there should have been more, but I feel like the only thing I would add to this episode to improve it is maybe give it maybe 20 more minutes to maybe make it a 2-parter at the most. Just to meet that requirement of more action. But at the same time, narratively, it makes sense that there wasn't. What are you going to do? Really, what are you going to do with a busted up ship? You have limited resources. You had to be plucky. You had to be smart. You had to be strategic about what you were doing with the equipment you had at your disposal. So in the story, it makes sense that there wasn't a lot of action. And I kind of like that. We got action at the beginning, because then there's the flip side of that. There's too much action. There's too much going on, and we're not getting enough of the characters. And I feel like what this show has been doing and trying to get across to us from the jump is that Discovery was our action Star Trek. That was our action show. This is not that. It's trying to go back to form. And there is action, but I think it tries to focus more on the character interactions and those kind of things. And I think, to Zyla's point, I'm glad she didn't die. I'm glad that she wasn't the mastermind behind all of this, because we were all theorizing she might be. And I'm glad that they were really showing that, because a lot of people in this current world are villainized for being, people that are not at the upper echelon of society, are villainized for being brown, are villainized for being poor, villainized for just trying to struggle and survive and falling into bad circumstances. So I like that she was not the ultimate villain. She was just trying to survive. And I like that both Ake and her were right. Neither one of them were completely wrong in how they approached that situation 15 years ago. She said, you should have resigned before you sentenced me. You should have left, and that was right. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to do that and then resign. And then she was like, well, what y'all got in trouble for was y'all were involved with killing someone who had a family, who had children, who had a life, who I knew personally. So you can understand her motivations for wanting to convict her personally. Now, So there was a lot you got in this episode. You got in more of Rocca's motivations. You got his motivations, not just because Nala sent him to prison. It was because of what Nala stood for. She was like a emblem of the Federation to him, and in
Right.
his mind, he had convinced himself that the Federation had destroyed his planets, even though he was under the wrong assumption. That was what he lived and based his whole entire being on. So I do appreciate this episode for trying to steer us in a less obvious way and give us more character and more characterizations and motivations why these people are the way they are, and also using that to talk about our outward society and how we view the poor, how we view the people who are disenfranchised, and things like that, and then also viewing our world leaders who make crazy decisions. So I think, in my opinion, it did its job.
Okay. Let me give my little. I gave one thumbs up. My one thumbs up was because I did genuinely like the show. I thought the finale was decent. I did have some critiques. I'll tell you what I liked about it. You already know there was enough action to keep me like, okay. Well, anytime I see the ship and I see it firing and I see that type of stuff, like it's you got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then anytime they do this new Trek warp into action shit, I fucking love it when they pew, 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 and all the ships just start showing. Pew, 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 pew. Like, yo, I love that shit. Like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I love that aspect of it. I love the fact that that they finally did have a confrontation, even though I do agree with Ty. It would have been nice to see more of a Spock versus Kirk type of with Nala and Anisha. But overall I did like it. But I did have some critiques, and I did share one with Zyla before we started here. And the biggest one that I have is like, she's still a fugitive. Like, they let her go at the end of the episode, right? But she escaped from jail. She escaped. She didn't finish her sentence. You know what I'm saying? And then she just showed up. She went off on the leader of Starfleet, and then they just let her go.
I think if they locked her up at this point.
I mean, no, but I mean, listen, I know it's weird, right? But like, through all of the moral stuff that Nala was talking, she still did sentence this young lady to 15 years or so, or maybe even more, in a work camp, of which she escaped with Noose Braca. And then afterwards, because I guess she feels sorry for him because she essentially kidnapped Caleb, you know what I'm saying? She's just gonna let her get off with a slap on the wrist after all this time. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a little weird how her mom, after she had a chance to kind of go off on her in front of the quadrant, was kind of like, all right, I guess, okay, son, I guess Starfleet's cool now. Like, I am a little on the fence about that. Like, it would have been kind of intriguing to see that there were more layers to the relationship with her and Noose Braca. You know what I mean? Like, I was expecting that a little bit. Like, I was glad that we got to get a little bit of the insight as to what the crime actually was and how she was involved and why it was that she was given such a harsh sentence for something that didn't appear to be her fault in the beginning. And I still think that's harsh because she didn't kill nobody. She didn't pull the trigger. She got 15 for not stopping him from killing somebody. Like, that's
I
still.
think it was not to say that I agree, because I'm kind of like, the messed up situation. But she was like, you came on that ship armed, you got the schematics, you kind of paved the way. What did you think was gonna happen if you walked into a scenario with weapons? Somebody might get hurt potentially. You with somebody who is nefarious, who is up to no good. So it's like, if I went into a bank and was like, I had a gun, it was like, give me the money. You think either I'm not gonna die or somebody else, So
well, hold on. Let me challenge you, Anna. All right, but why were they there? It was a supply ship.
Oh, I get it.
They were hungry.
No, I agree.
They were starving.
This
wasn't an act of malice. This was an act of desperation.
I
feel like that's what Starfleet's there for, right? Like, they're supposed to be there to help for the people who don't have the ability to help themselves in instances in which they decide not to exercise the prime directive and all that other good stuff. So yes, right? And also at the same time, 15 years
A lot of nuance.
for your son when she didn't pull the trigger.
I mean,
I can see.
listen, in real
and-
life. Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say I agree. Like, there's a lot of nuance. Like, there's no real 100% right way to view this situation.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't have locked her up.
Exactly.
Right.
And
I feel like
to
she
that
should get
point-
probation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ake, I think it was said, like, I would have let you out, but we couldn't find you or something. Or
She
maybe
was
not
like,
let
I
you
was.
out.
She was like, why didn't you try and track me down?
Right.
And she was like, well, girl, you
Yeah.
left, and we couldn't find you. You left
Oh,
too good.
can I really quick identify a plot hole, because that doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
All right, because she literally was in the work camp up until like a few years back when she escaped with Nusbraka. So she knew exactly where she was. I mean, am I tripping?
I think
Am I
she
tripping?
left.
Not a few years. Okay, so apparently she broke out like
2 years.
5 years,
Yeah,
2 or 3 years after getting sentenced.
Right.
So her sentence
Oh.
was 15 years. So she still had a long time. But what I was saying was, in reality, like, just to bring a little bit of context to this, if I robbed a bank and you were my getaway driver, but I killed 2 people inside,
Mhm.
does that kind of, are you not responsible
Culpable.
indirectly because there's still 2 bodies that are dead. There's still 2 people that are dead.
Right.
Regardless whether or not you pulled the trigger, you drove the person who did the crime away from the scene of the crime, and then whether or not you knowingly did it or not. So what I would say is, in that case, 15 years would be fine because you still have a life. The person who pulled the trigger would get life. So you wouldn't serve the same as what Rocco would have served, which would have been life, but you still have some culpability because you were with that person when they killed a person, and you didn't go and turn that person in. Once you found out, you immediately go, I didn't know anything about it. He killed him. I saw him. I testified. I'll do whatever. That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't do that, then you are culpable to whatever crimes that person committed in your stead. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, or even overly, like overtly egregious in terms of how the 15 years that she gave her. That wasn't crazy. But even with that being said, at some point she felt some type of way and was going to go back and maybe make amends and be like, all right, you can get out. I'm gonna take you out. I was acting off emotion, because the ill part about this too is she spoke so vaguely about this Lee motherfucker. Like, who? Yes, he had a family. Yes, he wore a braid that all his family wore. And yes, if you think you're hurting me, this is the grave that I stand on every day. Why? Why do you stand on this grave? Were y'all romantically involved?
No, I think she was talking about her son.
This was her son?
Well, she talked about both. But I think the grave.
That's my point, Anna. That's my point. That's very vague. Like, who the fuck is Ang Lee? Like the only Ang Lee I know makes movies. I need to write a scene. Like, that's the Ang Lee that I know. So I'm like, who is Ang Lee to you? Like, I understand he was a Starfleet officer, but were you sleeping with him?
I hear what you said.
Was he a lover? Who was he to you for you to come out your mouth and say, that's the grave I stand on?
Well, Ty, she said that he was, I mean,
a friend,
again, making good points, but I think that she made her case, which was essentially that you killed him like he was just a dude on a ship who was in the way of you and food, when he was actually a man who had his own family. You sitting there mad at me for taking you away from your child. You took a whole man away from his whole family who was about to retire. Literally, you just caught him when he was about to live the rest of his life in solitude with his family back in Isla Nublar in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Where Jurassic Park is and all that. And because you saw him draw a gun when you was about to rob him, decided to steal him of his life. And you want me to just give you freedom for this? And I'm the villain? I think that's the point. Now, I'm not making that case.
No. You're making a good point. You're making a good point, Vince. But my point again with the writing is, this is an easy way to circle back to saying, oh, you killed my son. The person you killed
Yes.
was actually my son. And that's why I was so upset about
I
it.
thought that's what they were saying, but she wasn't.
That's what it would have. That's what I'm saying. And it would
It would
have
have
made
made sense.
sense.
But
It
it
would have
was
made more sense, which would have tied in their real connection. Like this makes the
I'm with
connection
you.
real. It makes everything that she does for Mir like you're the replacement son because your mother killed my son. Like now we have to raise this boy together. Mom, you killed my son. You took away the only opportunity for me to be a mother.
That is good.
These are opportunities missed on a season finale. Like if I did like for me, I would have been like, oh shit. Instead, I'm like, who the fuck is Ang Lee? Like, yo, Ang Lee, like you just said his name. Y'all went to the director and just made. I didn't even make up a creative name. Y'all just like, they kind of directed, such and such. Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Come on, man.
I'm so saying, let me just stop you. Can I just say I'm so glad you showed up today. Oh my god, I'm so glad you showed up today. I didn't know how much I needed to hear this. I mean, I don't agree with all of it, but it's fun. It's fun. I do agree. I'm not gonna lie, like yo, most of the stuff you're saying makes sense. Like I don't think anybody on the panel would disagree. Nobody on the panel would disagree. Like if we had learned that actually, because she is 400 years old, right? And so it is within the span of reality that it could have been her son or somebody she knows. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it is kind of curious how all of a sudden this unnamed man through all first 9 episodes now becomes this character of significance in this few minutes of this monologue that she's making right before the episode ends. And yeah, tie him in to actually being the son would have made a lot of sense, even though it wouldn't have, because it would have been a contradiction of the story that she told before, which was that I think the son died. I think the son died. Yeah, like during the burn or something like that. Yeah. So but who's to say Nala couldn't have more than one son? You know, or like
she couldn't have lied, sir.
Like, yeah.
Who's saying? Like in that moment, you're not necessarily trying to get Caleb to run away from you. So why would I tell you your mother killed my son in that moment? No, I'm not going to tell her that. But when I'm faced with the murderer of my son, then I would say, you thought that it was just a regular person that you killed in a moment, but that was my son. So I understand as a mother how you feel because you took away what you took away from me. So I had to take away what it would have all circled. It was a way to make it all happen. Just like there was a way to kill off Caleb's mother without making her. You could have made Caleb's mother a martyr, and I'm gonna tell you how. You could have had her save the motherfucking day. You could have had her save the day, but Braca still kills her in that moment. Now it's not on the Federation in that moment. She died saving the Federation. It would have been one of those things where it's like, oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You spitting facts, bro.
Listen,
you on one. You on one today, man. You on one.
That's what they.
You came in hot. And at first I was kind of like, but now I'm kind of like,
we just gonna have you rework the whole show.
You gotta start writing fanfic, Ty.
Hey, Tony, you got any room on the writing room for Dollar Ty over here? But yo, I actually agree wholeheartedly with that. Like that would have been hella. Now, Zyla, I know Zyla is already given her defense for keeping Anisha alive, but Zyla, she can still be in the memories. She can still be, she can still be in the flashbacks. I'm being serious. Like even if she gets off, which it does add to it. Listen, and I hate to cross the streams, all right, because I know we don't normally cross the streams, but in Star Wars, when we lost Obi-Wan, we was like, yo, it's Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? We just lost the dude, but then he shows up in every single iteration as a Force ghost. So I'm not saying that they need to kill her and kill her character completely, but I mean, she could, as Ty said, have seen the light, been like, yo, So the Federation isn't what I thought it was. And now Caleb's whole entire journey, because now at the end of the show, let's keep it real, we don't know what the hell Caleb's doing. Like, he was in Starfleet because he wanted to find his mom. He found his mom, and he realized because Jet told him, oh, look, you're not the person you thought you were. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. But now he's staying in Starfleet. For what? For what? For friends? For friendship? You know
Yeah, that's why everybody's in Starfleet. Like,
Friendship
that's
is magic.
Starfleet is about the crew. It's about the bonds, the forged
Fair
bonds
enough.
through war and crisis that we make with our friends. That's literally
And we
what
got a
Starfleet
season 2 to do.
is. What you said? What you said?
You said we got a season
2 to do.
Right. Yeah. And I think, and I totally think that would have been a very good ending. 100, like, well written
Mhm.
tie. I would love to see it. I
Yeah.
do think maybe this is just the soap and there is a case for not making everything traumatic. He's already not making
Okay.
everything grief, not having one single happy ending. I feel like
Okay.
I appreciate sometimes a happy ending. In terms of like this being a full circle with the mom, I actually had the thought they're probably gonna kill this woman off.
Mhm.
And I also had the thought, like, maybe they'll do it in a way where she isn't the villain, but she's gonna die anyway. And I think that would have been cheap. I don't know. Something about it is like, oh, we had this whole journey to find her, and then she dies in the end. It's like, man, a fucking trauma porn again.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would have made me upset, even though it's well written, even if thematically they managed to do it, which they didn't set it up well enough, as Ty said. So I kind of like that she didn't die, her specifically. Again, Kyle could have gone. But
Kyle gotta die. It's like South Park all over again. Oh my God, they killed Kyle. But Zyla, again, I'm across the streams one time, and I'm not trying to convince you, because your point is your point.
I like it. Yeah.
But when we lost, all right, when I say we, when the viewers lost Eddie from Stranger Things, Eddie was immortalized. He became like almost a superhero faction of that show. He never did any other shots on that show. But when he, I hope I didn't just spoil it for everybody. If you haven't seen Stranger Things,
if you spoiling it at this point, man, they gotta plan Stranger Things.
If you haven't seen Stranger Things, this is a long time ago, but you should have been seeing that already. All right, so yo bad if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, 80 dies. Sorry. All right.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, the Titanic sinks. So sorry, don't watch that. But yeah, like, if you like, death isn't as traumatic as it is in the moment. It's also it provides a grandiose, like a bit of grand nature, in my opinion, to the episode. Kind of like when again, I keep doing the stream crossing thing, but a movie that we kind of covered on our other show, New Blurred Order, by the way, every Saturday 10 a.m. Make sure you check on in. All right, and it's actually what the logo means, so check us out. But anyway, there was a movie called Ant-Man 3, and in Ant-Man they had the most powerful guy. His name was Kang at the time, who unfortunately ended up having a domestic dispute with, whole long story. At the end of that movie, they left Ant-Man alive, and it honestly, because we had already predetermined it would be best if he died, it was disappointing that he was left alive, because it was like, it would have provided so much heart for Marvel's Phase 5. Now, what I'm saying is, imagine how much harder it would hit if the mom, or if somebody was impacted. They don't necessarily have to be even killed. They could have, you know what? I'll even take it a step further. Ty, I think Ty would agree with me on this. Even if she didn't die, let us think she did. All right. And then next season, we find out she's in some coma, and we can only talk to her through Tarima, and so all I'm saying, I think what Ty's point is, missed opportunities there. But I'm not going to focus on those as much right now. I do want to say, dang, it's already been, we've been talking a long time, man. We've been flying. But I will say this. Okay, well, let me ask y'all this. What did y'all think about the confrontation? Because remember last week, I asked y'all, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I asked you, I think just right before you joined us, Anna, do you think that our girl Sam is going to be the same. Remember I asked y'all that? I was like, yo, she now is not 200 days old, Sam. This is I've lived a full life, Sam. And she was a complete, she was not the same. She even said it. She like, I ain't the same little motherfucker. Y'all, like she got all gully with shit. Like, I ain't that same little motherfucker that do roof for back when I was 246 old. I'm a grown woman now. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so like she kind of confronted Genesis a little bit. And I'm just curious, like Zyla, Ty, Anna, and Zyla, if you could go first, maybe. What did you think about the confrontation? Like, did you think that it was like was it kind of cheesy? Was it I mean on par with your taste? I mean, what was your discernment for their relationship and what happened?
I think just it reminded me of myself when I was younger, in that like you, and even now you look back on your old self or your younger self and you feel like this sense of shame and like, oh, I was so naive. I was like following around this girl. Like, why did I do all that, and all these regrets? And then you have this moment where you're like, well, I'm going to be different now, and everybody better recognize it. And you kind of put on this bravado, but what you really want is just to recognize or have everyone recognize that you've changed. And sometimes it's more of an internal thing and it just becomes an external thing. So I thought, just as a former teenage girl, young woman, like that felt real. Even if it was a little cheesy, it's a little cheesy to watch, but it happens, it's real, you know. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay. Anna, what you thought about it?
Yes, it kind of took me out for a second. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, "Are we really doing this right now?" But when she spoke and she explained herself and was like, "I feel like I'm a mirror for you. I feel like, you know, you want me to be this like puppy dog that follows you around and adores you, and so like naive and silly and woo woo woo, and kind of like your little pet." You know, and she was like, I'm not that anymore. I have grown. And she's trying to assert herself. She's trying to like, she almost is embarrassed by the former version of herself, you know? And she thinks that Genesis wants that from her. And so she's trying to assert that I can't give you that. I don't want to give you that. And Genesis is over here catching strays from everybody. And she's like, I didn't even say any of that. You know? So I'm like, leave my girl Genesis alone. Like, let her chill. But I understood where she was coming from. I like when you go through a vast experience, a deep emotional experience that transforms your character in that way, and you just want people to, like Zyla said, you just want people to know that you have gone through something, and you are not going to interact with them in this like bubbly kind of way anymore. And I got it. It worked for me in the end. And I think that's what Sam has been trying to say with like, I'm not staying in the room with you next year, but she hasn't been able to articulate it. And I think this moment of crisis just kind of brought it out. But yeah, I think that's what this finale was. It was a catharsis for all the characters. It was let's talk out this shit. You know, let's talk this stuff out. You know, in a very, you know, tense in a lot of the scenes, very tense way. But yeah.
All right. You got any feelings, Ty?
As it pertains to Genesis and Sam, I mean, Sam, this is I didn't really feel too much about it, but I will say this. Genesis was the only person that latched on to Sam when Sam first got to Starfleet Academy. She kept speaking to everybody kept ignoring her. You know, Genesis was the one who came up and was like, hey, you know, like boom, 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 boom. Let me show you around. Let me do this. So there, you know, this separation that she's now having with Genesis is kind of just growth. It's just showing that she's no longer that innocent, you know, unknowledgeable individual about humanity and all of that. Now I'm more acclimated to what, you know, being how to operate in these spaces, and I don't necessarily need you to hold my hand anymore. I'm feeling more independent, and that's cool. That's growth. That's real growth. That's that, you know. So I didn't really have too much of a problem with it. I will say this though, and this may be some foreshadowing. I think 2 episodes back when they hijacked the
Shuttle
ship,
pod.
the shuttle pod to go to um uh
Okay.
where was it?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
to go get his mom, What
to
they
the Venari ride.
yes. Genesis said something to the degree of, one day I'm gonna hunt. I'm gonna have to hunt all of y'all down or something like that. And listen, there's no one on this show more Starfleet than Genesis. Genesis is
That's
here
true.
to be a Starfleet admiral, a Starfleet captain, just like her dad. Like that's her primary goal. Like everybody else might be here for shits and giggles and having an experience. She is locked in. She is the one that is here to make a name for herself, and I think that will come at some point, maybe season 2, maybe season 3, who knows? But I think it will come a point where she'll be more loyal to Starfleet um at like regulations than she will be with
Ooh.
just being friends. Like she'll be the one that'll be like, look, I know we go way back, but you violated this code
See.
9976 of the Starfleet, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take your ass in. And a hug ain't
I
gonna do
see.
it. Sam's hug ain't gonna do it. She gonna that, like I'm saying, like when it came down to it, like everybody was like, yo, it's okay, dear. We know you didn't mean it. She was like, yes, you did, motherfucker. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I ain't gonna forget that shit. Just so you know, I ain't gonna forget that. So I think there's definitely some things we can take away from the relationship, but when it comes to Sam, man, I can't. There's nothing. Whatever she says or does, I'm riding with her. So if she felt like she needed some independence, needed her own room, whatever the case may be, she don't gotta explain shit to me.
We know, bro. We know you love Sam. I'm gonna get
Sam.
you a I love Sam shirt, bro. I'm gonna make it promise to be official. I was just gonna say before we start wrapping up here that this might be kind of mean, but Genesis kind of annoyed me this episode for some reason. Like
Interesting.
I didn't understand why. Like she got the bridge,
Uh-huh.
and she almost immediately gave the comm to Daryl. You know what I'm saying? Like she was there for like literally like 5 minutes. And she wanted to be captain so bad. And she's like, she sits down, and her first order is, Darren, you have the comm. And I was like, motherfucker, you've been waiting for this shit your whole life, and you're gonna start leaving the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And also I was like, it kind of felt a little bit, and I know this is probably a little cheeky, but it kind of felt a little bit like Jet Reno gave her the helm because she had nothing else to give her to do. Like everybody else was doing important shit. You know what I'm saying? And she just was like, she's like, well, what do I do? She's like, I don't know, just sit right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, fine. You know what I'm saying? So, like it didn't feel like she was giving the captain helm. It felt like she was just like, all right, I don't really know what to tell you right now. Just I guess you have the calm, and so for that I didn't like. But you are right, Ty. Like she's given Janeway, she's given. Oh well, we must not violate the Prime Directive. We must take out the and go to the brig, Captain. She is kind of giving like a little bit of a Starfleet pick me to an extent. Yeah. But her storyline is honestly probably, in my opinion, like the least interesting out of everybody's, if I'm being honest. A young lady who it just wants to be like her dad, who we don't know who he is, and she wants to be captain. She gets captain, and she doesn't really know what to do with it. I don't know. It gives that person in school who's like, wait a minute, teacher, you're letting us go before asking about the homework. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't like you. I don't want you to succeed. I want you to fail because I don't want you, like, you're getting in the way of my easy living. But I jest, but some of it is kind of like Genesis of all the storylines. Like Daryl, him being a half fish or whatever that is, that's interesting to me. I think that's cool. Klingon with the nice skirt, who has the ability to be a medical guy and also still is tough because he was about to fight when he pulled up to the wedding because he thought they would kidnap Daryl. Remember, he came and was like, "Yo, let my friend go," and he bought that life, even though he's still not necessarily the Worf. I like that. I like, obviously we all love Sam. Caleb's his whole story has come full circle. But yeah, for her, she's just like, I just want to be captain. It's like, okay, all right, well, good for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little. Hey, listen, man. I ain't gonna let you sit there and just spit salt on that girl's name like that. Like, listen, Genesis.
Like she's like, I just want to be captain. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like Luffy, monkey Luffy. Like, oh, I want to be the king of the pirates. Like, all right, well, work.
Okay, well, as a girl who was annoying in school, and as a girl who does have daddy issues, let's just say some people really relate to Genesis's character.
Okay. All right.
And I will say, I can agree that they could give her more. Hopefully, she has more development in season 2. But I prefer her story over Tarima's any day. I don't know why latching Tarima onto that man. Like, no offense to Caleb, but she has not stood on her own 2 feet once throughout this time. Even the finale, that was what was my biggest critique of this, was the Tarima Caleb thing.
Yes.
It was like she needed that man to tell her to take off the neural inhibitor. Please. Like, please. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure this episode they would give her her own internal strength to rip that thing out and do what she had to do. And it was still like, oh, I love Caleb.
Him telling her,
hold my hand. Exactly. And bring me to my own flower world, which I created, and then like be the one to encourage me to help. And that was just absurd to me. At least Genesis, she is the prototype or stereotypical Starfleet woman, Janeway type. But I'd rather that strength and like internal like badassery or just annoyance, if that's what you prefer it as. But I'd rather that than dependent on a man. Like, that's some old school writing that I'm just like, I don't feel that.
And I'm also I'm also of the same understanding of her character as Zyla. Like, she, to me, when the early in the series, I immediately saw that she, when it comes to confusion, when it comes to like everything going mayhem, she was cool, calm under pressure. Like she's always been that way throughout consistently throughout the series. I think in that moment that you're referring to where she gave it to Darum, that shows that in that moment that she didn't feel like she deserved it. And I think that's because of what she had gone through with being found out by Aki, that she cheated on her stuff and everything like that. I think that she still.
I just want to interject real quick just to fact check it, because the reason she gave it to Darren was because she had to go deal with the Sam situation.
Yeah, she was delegating.
That's the only reason she left the chair. They were like, you specifically, Genesis, this is your best friend. You are the leader. You have to go deal with this. And so she had the
delegated
intellect to give it to Darren and go handle business.
Yes, she was delegating.
Okay, so I'm going with Vince, like he knew what he was talking about. But anyway.
I didn't lie.
No, you got, because you made
issues. We can.
I didn't include context, but it doesn't mean
but I mean that was fair. I mean, nice.
And also, like when she was leaving the bridge, she also was like, "What's going on with the frequency?" Talking to Tarima, she was like, "Darum, take the con. I have to go check on Sam." She was delegating what a captain does. You can be a captain and not be in the chair. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
In the chair. Sometimes you got to lead the bridge and take care of some stuff. Deal with your crew, and you have to leave the people behind and be like, "Okay, this is what the task that I gave you. Take over for me." And that's what she was doing. That's what a real captain does. She's been doing that since the laser tag episode.
Since laser
episode one when they
when she saved Darum, when she is cool and calm under crisis. And that's always been throughout. Now, what I will agree with as far as her character being a little thin is that in episode, I believe 7, when she was doing all the stuff to like open her file and hack the file. That motivation was a little weak to me because it was like, oh, I'm gonna edit a recommendation. You gonna risk your whole school career,
right? Thank you.
For that. So that was a little shaky, and also that was another area where her father could have came in. We could have met him,
right?
Things of that nature, or we could have found out twist. Her father is not who she says he is, but. Ooh. That's what I was expecting out of that episode. Like I felt like the way she was like being so secretive and sketchy about it just made it seem like something deeper was going on. So that I will agree with. Like her character sometimes is a little like surfacey, but in this episode, for me, she worked. I will agree also with the Tarima thing, Zyla. Tarima has been very like extremely thin written as a character. She's either not in an episode at all or she is there making googly eyes at Caleb and he's doing the same thing back. And I'm just honestly, I'm tired of their relationship. I hope they break up. If we have to do a relationship, I think Caleb and Genesis are better matched. But I would rather they break up before they, I don't want no love triangle.
Stop the bullshit. No, goddamn it. I want it to be messy. I want her to steal him away. I want her to stab Tarima. I want her to stab her in the neck.
Tarima gonna blow her brain out.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
It's truffle, man. It's coming. It's giving truffle all day long, yo. I'm telling you, when that episode when she had that conversation with Genesis, like, girl, I know you want him. I want my man. Like, I can literally read your mind. Like, we just friends. No, you not. Like,
I know, right? And no one said anything to her. She was like, I know.
And look, and with the I know, then came the stroking of the arm and the I'm just chill, girl. Look, I know you
girl,
want
shut
my man. Come here, girl. We all hate. Look, I told you when I say that episode, he got one more time to pick her up in the air, and that's it. It's going down. It is going down. They're up in the air. 2, 3 more of them, and it's a wrap. They are all in a relationship. But I want to say this real quick because I'm glad you brought this up, Anna, because I didn't get to say anything about this in terms of that the whole going back and trying to get the file and everything like this. That made so much sense to me being a bad guy, right? Because it doesn't make sense for people who are goody. And I'm not saying that as a shot. But I'm telling you that if I only wanted to be something all my life, and then I finally got an opportunity to be that thing, and I knew that this was my one opportunity, I'm not going to let nothing or no one stop me from being what that is that I wanted to be. She knew that in this opportunity, I got a chance to do what I came here to do. They want to sign me up for the captain program a lot faster than I thought it would be. So I didn't have the time that I thought I would to be able to go and change the shit that I needed to change. But now I know I need to change it ASAP. I'm not letting no one or nobody stop me from doing that. So when I see that energy, I understand it. Because if it were me, I would do the fucked up shit. I'm not going to sit in front and lie and be like, oh, I do the fucked up shit. I'd be that motherfucker creeping in there with a fucking flashlight in the middle of the motherfucking night when nobody's looking to change shit in my motherfucking file because I know that if I change it, I'm guaranteed to get what it is that I'm going to get. Yes, I am that conniving motherfucker that you might need to watch for. And and I understand that, like, everybody thinks Genesis is this goody two-shoes. And I felt like that showed that she's willing to do what the fuck ever to be who the fuck she wants to be. And that to me is why I said there's no one more Starfleets than Genesis, because nobody else is caring that much to go that far. Nobody. Look. Caleb has been fucking up from the day he's got there. This nigga just fucks up every other day. And all he does is go to his second mom and be like, hey, man, you know it's me. It's okay. It's okay, boo-boo. It's okay. That's why I said the only mistake that she made was not, which is a huge mistake, and I believe this in real life. If you have entitlement and don't use it, you ought to be ashamed.
I mean, fair,
You ought to be
fair.
motherfucking ashamed. Born with entitlement and not fucking use it? How dare you? How fucking dare you? You got a whole dad that's an admiral that everybody keep talking about. Like, ooh,
all
admiral.
right.
Look, you can say all right all you want, but I'm saying this is a real life thing. There were people, there were elitists paying colleges and paying schools for their kids to get into, but when they didn't have the grades to get into it and doing little shit behind us. This is entitlement. This is what happens when you have it. So if you don't use it, you're not like, oh, dad, like, because at this point, when you realize that she's offered you the opportunity and you know you fucked up and you know you don't have the time to get through, that's when you make the fucking call to dad. Dad, I know, listen, I know you're pissed. I know you're gonna be pissed at this, but look, this is the situation. And if you don't, I don't want to make you look bad because you're the admiral. But look, Dad, I need to get in. That's the phone call you make. Like, yo, whenever you kill somebody,
Oh my God. Oh
no.
God.
No. Listen to me for a second. In any diplomatic movie where you have a diplomat, which is an admiral, is a diplomat. When you have a diplomatic movie and a diplomat's child or somebody does something crazy, and they might get involved in a murder or something, they call a diplomatic mother. The mother has a cleaning crew or whatever, people that she has the reach or whatever to call in favors to get you out of that situation. This is no different. It's just no bodies involved. But
that's completely contradictory to her plight. Her whole plight is that she wants to do it without having to lean on the credentials of her father. She wants to carve her own way.
The look to the side.
It's the truth. I mean, I don't agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it.
That is your
She
assumption.
says it. It comes out of her mouth.
Yeah,
She said
that's
that.
I think in episode 7, where she was like, I want to stand on my own feet because it's his chair. I've always sat in his chair. I want to sit in my chair and get it the way I want. But my thing, I think I agree with you that like she is determined. I agree with her determination. For me, what didn't work was what she was determined to change. I was like, that's what it was. Somebody wrote one sentence about you, and you think that's gonna just fuck up everything, and you are gonna fuck up everything in an attempt to edit that. That was weird. I just felt like that didn't line up. Like the motivation and the potential consequences were not working for me. Like they didn't make sense to me. It's like I'm gonna get expelled, but I'm gonna edit this. But I could potentially get expelled completely, not just kicked out of the program that I'm being offered, but I could be expelled completely if they catch me. And it's because Ake is just breaking the rules left and right for these cadets that she's not. So that was what was weird to me. Like if it was something truly detrimental in that file, that's what I thought was why she was going so frantic about it. But there was nothing truly damning in that file, nothing truly like that would tear her world down,
Let me interrupt you, Anna. Like, let me take it a step further. Like, what was she gonna change? What was she gonna change?
It was like somebody
gave her they gave her a good recommendation. So she was gonna go and switch it to a bad to like what was, and then what exactly was she doing?
Genesis doesn't know who she is or something like that. And I just felt there should be more to why she was putting everything at risk.
I thought we were gonna find out she didn't belong in Starfleet or something crazy like that.
She lied completely.
Right.
Yeah. Or she, I don't know, maybe had went with Epstein somewhere to an island. Oh, my bad. Too soon. Okay, no. All right, let me. You never know, man. There's a lot of folks trying to hide that nowadays. I don't know. I'm just trying to. But anyway, so look, we got to go ahead and start wrapping up, y'all. We've already gone over a lot of time, and I appreciate y'all hanging out a little bit. And I just want to ask y'all this on the way out. not only do I want to know what your predictions maybe for this next season, which is already wrapped. Hallelujah. I understand they already have wrapped season 2. The entirety of it has been taped and is already being edited as we speak. So I'm curious, Zyla, I'll start with you. What is it you predict for season 2 in terms of plot? And what would you like to see in terms of season 2 with the plot? Please spare no expense. Let us know how you feel with that.
I predict, well, obviously, just brand new villain, hopefully something creative, something cool. What I would like is more action. I think I love character
Mm,
development. Everybody knows this already. But I feel like since we've done so much of it in season 1, now we can go into season 2 and already know everybody's motivations, already get to see it develop through action and crisis and learning experiences out in space. So I hope for that, and I'm excited either way. I'm so happy that we already have a season 2.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I dig it. What about you, Anna? You have any predictions? Anything that you're specifically looking forward to, or something you just might just want to see in this upcoming
I
season?
hope I don't really have any predictions because, like we were saying earlier, it was so vague how it ended. But
Mm,
what I do want to see is the shakeup of relations. I want to see. I
mm.
want to see some character development for Kyle. So when they eventually break up, it's a little more like heartfelt and a little bit like more, like I can actually feel the heartbreak, because I don't know who this man is. Um, so I want to see Darren and Jaden get together, or if they don't, I want to know why Jaden is pushing this man away. Like I want to know what's the
Mm.
reason. I want to see. I want to hear more about why the doctor was. We know his daughter was the reason why he couldn't latch on to Sam. He was afraid to connect with her. But we also know there was some stuff with the Protostar crew. So I want to hear the backstory on that. We may not get that because they want to save that for a Prodigy revival. Who knows? But yeah, I also want to see more what's going on with Caleb's mom. Like, is she coming in to visit? Are they having little lunches on campus and stuff? Because what is she gonna do? Like, is she gonna like? Are they,
Yeah.
like, is she gonna be like, she gonna teach? She could teach. You know. But yeah, I also agree with Zyla. Maybe get a little more action going. Like, have more adventures.
Yeah.
Be in space
Yeah.
more.
Hey, there you go. You took something from me. I was gonna say that, but yeah, that's cool. All right. I love what you said there. I love what you say there, Anna. Bad time, man. Predictions or just what you'd like to see in an upcoming season of Starfleet Academy?
Next season, I predict a whole lot of messiness. It's gonna be a whole lot of messy stuff going on. It's potentially going to be the throuple that I predict between Genesis, Tarima, and Mir, and also the throuple that I may predict with Kyle, Darum, and Jaden. Like they can just get all kind of throupling going on. Listen, I also think that there's something that we haven't talked about at all, which is who is Caleb's dad, and where is he, and what is he, and because this dude is not
Brown.
Yes.
We know that much.
We know that much exactly. So hopefully we can have some show up, some dads on season 2, so we can get Genesis' dad to pull up.
Some dads.
Darren's dad to pull up. Jaden's dad to pull up. We can make it a dad season and just have everybody pop up.
Season?
Yeah, have a dad season, man. Like where everybody's dad just pulls up, Father's Day episode, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
But I think that's gonna be there's gotta be a potential boogeyman in one of them dads. One of them dads got to be a potential boogeyman. But whether it's Caleb's dad, somebody's got to be a potential boogeyman. But I will say this: the last thing that I would like to see, that I know that I'm probably not going to see, is more action. I think that based on the writing of the finale, and I may just be assumptive in this nature, but I do believe that this is going to become more of a drama than an action series. I think that it is going to be about the characters and about their relationships. Sam, the relationship with her newfound dad, and I do believe that we may lose him. I think that it is going to. It is. There was that moment where he started to do that same shit that she just finished doing. With the gray areas on your body, shit, that whatever
Yeah.
that thing. I think that we may very well lose him. And I think that is the buildup of the relationship that we're going to continue to see with him and Sam, which is going to make it so traumatic when we finally do lose him. Because you know me, if Sam cries, I'm crying. So that's like we know that when that happens, Sam will lose a huge part of herself in the 17 years that he raised her in the five weeks that they spent together.
Okay, I can dig it. A lot of both of y'all have said things that I was thinking about saying myself. I was gonna say I like to see them more in space because they were on campus for I think 6 of the 10 episodes. And I'd like to see a Star Trek in the stars trekking. You know what I'm saying? That would be kind of nice.
Yes.
But I also would like to see. I think that they were timid about crossovers in this season, and I can understand. I mean, I know you're like, oh, well, Tilly, and yeah, but Tilly was really all right. Well, Discovery was present, right? But I'm talking about current crossovers. Discovery is over. There's no more seasons coming from that. All right. Voyager is over. So the EMH has been revived. I'm talking about Strange New Worlds is still a thing. You know what I mean? Like they actually, that's a weird thing. That's a weird thing because like the timelines are kind of like, you know, because Discovery with the Red Angels, she was in the future, she was in the past. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if this coincides on the timeline of Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds is not even a thing anymore. The new thing is the Star Trek, new Star Trek or whatever with all of the young, like so last season of Strange New Worlds was the last season of Strange New Worlds.
Incorrect.
There's 2 more.
They're filling up to 5. They're going all the way to 5.
They finished them, I believe.
So Pike is still around?
Oh yeah.
No, no, because like Pike is in the 23rd,
in a different 23rd, yeah. Pike is technically a prequel to the original like, Star Trek.
1,000 plus years.
So,
time travel.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Oh, yeah, there's always time travel, right? You go, we've done some anomaly warp
so many
factor.
things, yeah, wormholes exist.
But I guess with what you just said, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, I don't know. I guess Zyla mentioned Burnham and Discovery, and happy that I would have jumped out of my seat if Michael Burnham had showed up. You know what I'm saying?
That could be a season 2 for now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be so dope. Saru and freaking Michael Burnham show up and freaking
Saru, Saru. Pull Saru up like somebody. I need Saru to come through, slinging them arms, bro. Yeah, come on, Saru.
Yeah. But I tend to agree with Ty a little bit. I do think that this first season leaned heavily into Zyla's teen angst and into the whole the drama of it all, the Saved by the Bell meets Party of 5 type of vibe. And I mean, it's not necessarily my vibe, but I'm here for it if it's involving Trek. At least they kept it alien, they kept it sci-fi. But what I really want to see more than anything else is I want to see a more ruthless villain, or at least some sort of plot that embodies a truly detrimental threat. Like I want to see something that rattles them to the point where they damn near can't have no filler episodes because they got to get this shit figured out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like Borg, like Kazon, like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like, you know, Gorn, like, I mean, I was cool. I thought Nusbraka was that dude, but then I found out like, then they're like, this he's operating off of a false memory. You know what I'm saying? And she kind of just undercut him in this last episode when she read him to the quadrant. So I want to see a plot line that embodies something that's so insurmountable that it takes away the joy, and we have to fight to get it back, like they did when we learned about the Gorn in Strange New Worlds, and how they just want to eat people. Like there's no I want to take over the quadrant. They're like, no, our kids are hungry and we just need to feed them humans. You know what I'm saying? Just as simple as that. Like I want to see a plot line that makes everybody shiver on a daily. And I just feel like Newsbrocker was that for a while. I think they've kind of killed that off.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. By essentially making him a dude who's operating his whole entire thesis off of a memory that doesn't even exist in real life, I think they've undercut him. You know what I mean? And at this point, he's lost credibility, even to the people that they started tuning out. He was like, all right, I got other shit to do. And it was like, all right, we out.
I'm just saying, if he's broken out of prison once, he can do it again. And more importantly, now what you created and what we saw that they created by what you called undercutting is a man who now gives no fucks and will kill everybody. That's what you created in that undercut moment that you just talked about. Because when they undercut him, like you said, he still pushed the red button. So I'm just saying.
But he does give fucks. That's why he had to be on TV. That's why he had to make a court case for everybody, because he wants to gain the adoration of the folks that aren't necessarily on board with Starfleet. He did want to. Now when that is vacant and when that is no longer the thing, now what drives you is that I just want to annihilate everyone. Now you made me look bad. I just want to kill everyone and get done with it. That's literally what it was, bro. But after he was like, y'all think y'all did something? I'm still holding the thing. And then the motherfucker pressed it multiple times. So yes, he was ready to kill everything. But we also have his sidekick now. Like Mom Dukes is on Team Starfleet now, and her mom, and so that's the whole thing. But I'd rather see a villain like the very original, like the first J.J. Abrams reboot of Star Trek, where Eric Bana played a dude who was essentially just trying to blow up everything. He had this red, whatever this was that created black holes, and he destroyed the planet Vulcan, like with Spock's mom still on it. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to see. Like I want to see a threat that takes the entirety of the season to solve, not one that we visit once or twice in a couple episodes. I want to see a themed threat that stays that keeps the continuity throughout. And I know it's only 10 episodes, so it's harder to do, like when we had
Disco season 6.
Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like just give me some longevity with the plot, with the threat is all I'm saying. And make the threat more of a threat. Like I want to be like, oh shit. Like, let's keep it real. Like if Paul Giamatti wasn't playing this role, we probably wouldn't have been as, he's like, all right.
He did a really good job.
No, for real.
Giamatti brought this character to life, and we was like, okay, cool. We fucks with you, Paul. But I want like a Khan-esque, I want a motherfucker who's just like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I'm coming and do all you want. But I'm gonna fuck you up. And I want multiple bodies. I want to meet somebody like them, and then I wish they.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to piggyback on what you're saying. Like one of the thoughts I had was like when his ultimate undoing in this episode was that he had to make a show of everything.
Right.
He could have just killed Nala. He could have just killed Caleb. He could have just, but he literally had to. It was his ego that got in his way. He wanted to create this his own anti-federation and appeal to these people and embarrass Nala, and that was what led to his demise. If he would have just and been done with it, blew up the Athena, been done with it, like he could have been on to his, his ultimate goal. But he was doing the villain thing. But
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I agree wholeheartedly. So let's hope we get what we want out of this next upcoming season. This first season has been a very wild ride. It's been intriguing. We got to see Tawny in makeup. We got to see Jaden in his skirt and with a love triangle. We got to see Caleb Near fight for his mom and then fight for the Federation that jailed his mom. I mean, we got to see a lot of stuff. We saw Sam start off as a being with no family and end up with a father figure. You know what I'm saying? And even the whole concept of Cask being like, oh, well, we didn't know that there was like she's too complicated for us to fix. You know, like that's a whole thing itself. You know, we saw Genesis come into her own and finally get to sit in the chair and delegate it properly according to half of the panel here. We also got to see Gina Jet. And even though she didn't get a big role in the last episode, which I'm a little hot about, Gina Yashir's character come through the half Jemadar, half Klingon, definitely be a whole thing. So that's awesome, and I can't wait to see even more. So on that note, guys, I say we go ahead and bid Starfleet Academy Season 1 adieu, and I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. I know some of y'all gonna hate it. Some of y'all, oh, it ain't what they done to Trek. Well, listen, Trek comes in multiple flavors, okay? And what we just got was a different sauce of Trek because Trek is so diverse because there's infinite diversity and infinite combinations. So this is a combination of diversity that we were happy to get. So I can't thank you enough, Anna, for joining us on this journey. Even though you came late to the party, appreciate you being here.
I'm not living this down.
And thank you as well, Zyla. It's been very fun. But don't think y'all ain't gonna see us again. We just not getting started here. We just getting fired up with the Trek Mob thing. So keep a lookout. And as we always say, be your authentic self. Because if you ain't, you being fake. And if you a geek, like we also say, go ahead, let that geek flag fly. Deuces.
This is Thugnificent telling everybody to tune in to New Blurred Order, my nigga. The best podcast on the planet Earth, nigga.